This video will guide you through the assembly process of the Monaco. For this assembly, you will need the following tools: Phillips screwdriver, a set of wrenches, Allen wrench, box cutter, wire cutter, tire pressure gauge. Use the wire cutter to cut the straps on the box. Using a box cutter, cut the box along the indicated lines. Inside the box, you should find the following: front wheel, basket, fender, pedals, windshield, bag of screws, nuts and mounts, front axle caps, toolkit, cable for your MP3 mirrors, charger, rain poncho, and cell phone holder. After removing the bike from the box, your bike should look close to the following. To install the front fender, use a Phillips screwdriver to detach the screws on the fork. Then carefully attach the fender into place as shown. Attach the screws back on the fork, and the fender should be secured tightly. Start by removing the nut, washer, drop washer, and spacer from the axle. On the opposite side, remove the nut, washer, and drop washer. Pull out the axle from the drum brake. Then take the front wheel and attach the drum brake through the center. Take the axle and push it through the drum brake. Install the spacer onto the axle on the opposite side of the drum brake. Position the wheel between the fork. Carefully lower the fork so that it aligns with this groove on the drum brake. Make sure the fork is locked onto the axle on both sides. Next, attach the drop washer, washer, and nut on the axle. Repeat this process on the other side. Tighten both sides with a wrench. Lastly, attach the front axle caps on both sides of the axle. Let's now check the battery. Using the key provided, open the seat compartment and lift the bike seat to reveal the battery. Plug in the cord to the corresponding port. To charge the battery, plug the charger to the port located on the right side of the battery and on the front of the seat, and the other end into a 110-volt outlet. Pay attention to the indicator light. Red means the battery is charging, green means it is fully charged. To start your e-bike, insert the end of the key to unlock the ignition. Then insert the key in the ignition and turn. Test the motor by slightly turning the handlebars to activate the throttle. The switches for the headlight, tail light, front and rear turn signals are located near the handlebars. Check to make sure the headlight and turn signals on the front are working. Make sure to check if the rear turn signals are working properly in addition to the brake lights. For this part of the assembly, we will explain how to straighten the handlebars. Use a screwdriver to detach the screws as shown here on the front dashboard. Do the same for the screws located below. Carefully detach the front headlight and unhook the connected wires shown here. While facing the bike, position the front wheel in between your legs. Then turn the handlebars to the correct position. Once you are satisfied with the position of the handlebars, tighten the nut located on the front. To install the windshield, first attach the 3 clips on the front. Then position the windshield in place. Tightly secure it with 3 screws. Reconnect the headlight wires and hoist it in place. Make sure all the wires are tucked in. Secure the headlight by screwing in the following screws on the dashboard. To install the mirrors, first use an Allen wrench to remove the screw and nut attached to the handlebars. Keep this nut because you will need it to secure the mirrors. Proceed by screwing in the mirror on top and fasten the nut from underneath. Twist the mirror in place and adjust as needed. Use a wrench to further tighten the mirror. Repeat this process on the other side. After twisting the mirror in place, make sure you tighten the nut with a wrench. Let's continue by installing the basket. Place the basket on the front rack and unhook the lid from the back to remove it. Line up the basket with the front rack and place the 2 screws through the bottom and slide the mount from underneath. Then lock the mount by fastening the 2 nuts provided with your bike. Repeat this process and attach the basket to the front rack. Make sure to line up the screw with the mount and nut provided. Use a screwdriver to tighten the screw and secure the nut with a wrench. While you're at it, go ahead and tighten all screws on the basket. Reattach the lid and the basket is fully installed. The last piece you'll need to install are the pedals. This bike does not have similar pedals. Check the markings on each pedal to determine which side they go on. Attach the pedal in place and tighten it with a wrench. Do this for both sides. Check to ensure that the chains properly spin when the pedals are rotated. Before you ride your bike, take 60 seconds to perform a quick check. Check the tread on the tires and use a tire pressure gauge to make sure your tires are at 40 psi. Check your brakes and brake lights by applying pressure on the brake levers. Check your headlight, tail light, and both front and rear turn signals. Look out for any loose nuts and bolts and tighten them. And lastly, check the battery charge by inspecting the battery indicator on the dashboard. Once you've finished performing the 60-second check, you're ready to go. Remember to always wear a helmet and observe the rules on the road. Be safe out there. If you experience any difficulties or have any questions, visit us at www.daymak.com.